Hello Bitzbox, this is Craig from Bitzbox.co.uk here, and this is part 2 of my painting video, where I paint a bust from scale 75 using only 5 different colours. They are red, blue, yellow, and black and white. So yeah, in this one I'm going to paint the rest of the bust, so it's her hair, her clothes, and her gun. So I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, so I'm back with the bust. And you can see from the first video, I painted her skin. So now I'm going to paint some other elements of her, starting with her hair, I think. So I want to do like a sort of browny, maybe slightly reddish brown colour. So a good way to get brown is to mix all 3 primary colours. However, I wouldn't suggest adding too much of the blue. If you watched the first video, I did demonstrate that, and you'd have seen that would have given us quite a grey. So I'm just gonna still a little bit of red in there. I'm not on there though. Chucking on the colours. Put a little bit of blue. At the moment I won't worry about black or white. I'm hoping we won't need to make it lighter or darker straight away. So 3 primary colours. We'll take another brush. Whack a little bit on there. For yellow. So I'll start by adding some yellow and red to give us like an orange. Right, that's quite overpowering of a red. I might even just whack some yellow straight in from the pot. Whack a load in, make it a lighter orange. And then I want to add in a couple of little bits of blue. Just a little bit of blue. You see how quickly the blue just takes over, and already we've got quite a sort of greeny, browny colour appearance. So we don't want that. So more red. I'll start building it up gradually, and just giving us a bit more of a brown tone now. You do a tiny bit of yellow in there. So I will give a black. I'll do a tiny amount of black. I'll make this darker. I'll start from quite a dark base, so a little bit of black. Again, black's much like the blue, very, very overpowering. So what I'm going to do, gradually add more and more black going this way. So that's really overpowering. That's just too much black. Let's add a little bit over there. Bring up some various different tones. Again, there's quite a lot of black, so we'll mix in all that area. That's better. That's what I want. So you can see I've got like some lighter and darker. I'd like that to be over there on the part, but never mind. This is a perfect base for what I want. So I'm just going to apply it all over the hair. You can see it's giving us this nice dark brown to work from. Okay, so I'm taking this shade here. I've got some on my dry brush, and I've wiped it out as clean as I can. I'm just going to dry brush the lighter shades on the hair. There's just really good texture on the hair, so it's just sort of begging to be dry brushed, but I'm going to do it very gradually and build it up. You see already we're starting to get some lighter shades shown, so I'm going to gradually work up lighter, and then maybe even add a little bit of white in some other shades as well. So I'm using a wet palette, which does make the dry brushing a little bit more difficult, but it's not impossible. Just got to really wipe your brush off and just really build up gradually and gently. When it was on the bust as well, some of that black paint sort of flaked off a little bit, even with some of the primer, so I'll fix that up before we paint that area later on. And just be careful not to get any on the skin, but obviously the rest of the miniature doesn't matter so much. And yeah, I'm going to just dry brush the shades that I've got, and then I'll come back and show you how I get some lighter shades. Okay, so you can see the hair's getting a few little highlights now. And take some white. I'm sort of running low on the original mix, but I think I can get away with just adding a little bit of this white paint in there, and it's got to shake first. And spread it a little bit. Now, one thing that happens with brown, as you see, it goes quite pale, which obviously we don't want, so we can add some red into there. Oh, I've gone through the paper a bit there, so we'll go over here a bit, drag over this way. Didn't like that. So we'll get some of our other colours back in. Make a new brown over here. A bit more red, a bit more yellow, and a bit more red again. Again, back to a brown. And I just want to add a little bit more sort of red and yellow than before. So stop it going too pale when the white goes back in. So it's a little bit orangey now, but add a little bit of white. And touch of the blue again, just a little bit. Maybe just a little bit more white. Not too much. No, that's good. You can see that's just a difference there. You can see, hopefully, you know, it's a bit more colour to it there. So it all depends what sort of shade you're going for with your brown. And again, just gradually working on them highlights. So, try and get a shot, sorry. Again, just keep building it up. You have to just work very slowly just because I'm using a wet palette. If you were just using these on a regular palette, you could do it probably a bit quicker, but you just have to have so little on the brush. Otherwise you're just going to get paint everywhere, and even some places you can see it's not sort of perfect. It's very hard to see on the camera. I don't know how it is. So whenever I look at it on screen, it doesn't always look the same as it does from the actual camera footage. So let's see how it looks when I look back at it. Yeah, I'll gradually build this up, then I'll add a little bit more white in and add in another highlight, and that should give us sort of the main highlights for the hair. Okay, so you can see your highlights now, and I'm quite happy with them. Now they do look a little pinky. As I was mixing it looked a little pink, and I thought actually I'll see what it looks like, and I actually quite like it. I think that'll really contrast well with the colour that I want to do her corset. So yeah, I was intending to add sort of little sort of reddy pinkiness into the hair, and I quite like this. So a happy little accident, we'll put that down to. There are a couple of little areas that I might have to touch up later, but my mix is pretty much used up and getting dry now, so I'm not going to waste too much time experimenting with it now. I can do that towards the end. What I'll do is paint her corset. So on the box art. It's very sort of this turquoisey dark green colour, which is very cool. So turquoise is pretty simple. It's just going to be a green with a lot of blue, and then maybe I'll add in some black. So I'm just going to go straight into a blue. I don't really need that too much. In fact, let's mix it all in, and we'll take a load of yellow. Lovely. That's what we want, and then we want some black in there. Again, I'll build the black up slowly. I think actually I'm gonna chuck in more blue. I might have just gone overboard with the yellow there. So it's all trial and error, of course. And that's quite nice. A bit more blue. More turquoisey. Also darken it down just a little bit as well. That's what we want. So I quite like that. That's probably going to end up being the mid-tone. I think it will end up being darker in the shadows. I'm hoping we can just go over that little area and be okay. So it's still a little bit green. One with a bit more blue. More blue in there. That might be better. Yeah, that's better. So I'll paint this side and wait for that side to dry, and I'll go over with that. Very nice mid-tone. It's very similar to like the Thousand Suns or Almond Blue. Really nice turquoisey colours. And yeah, it's just going to be this corset. What's this colour? The hat. I was debating whether I do the hat that colour or not, but I'll do it. I'll do it black. So this is literally the only area which is this colour. Cool. That's gone on pretty well, actually. The blue is a base paint, Cardboard Sky, so it's heavier bodied than the other paints, so goes over black really well. So I'm going to add some black to that mix for our shadows now. Yeah, nice and dark. Get a load of water on that. And I'm going to feather it up from the bottom. This is quite thin. And some of this paint is still a little bit wet, which is good. I'll blend it in. Take some more shadow under here as well. So, again, it's all just done with glazes. Gradually build it up with several layers. And what I might do, build up a little bit higher. so. So I'm going to do another 2 or 3 layers, just gradually working my way down as I do them. And that should hopefully give a nice little transition going to the darker areas. Okay, so you can see we've got shadows working their way down there. So now it's time to do highlights going the other way. Put some more blue into my mix, so we're back to the original colour, and I'll add a little bit of white to there. And again, lots of water, and it down to that glaze. And this brush might be okay. And just gonna pull the paint up to where you want it to be the strongest. That's way too much on the brush there. When it starts sort of pulling up like that, you know you've got too much on your brush. It'll soak up fast, don't let it dry or semi-dry. Just a bit more there. So it won't look like much after the first couple of passes, but just keep going with it. Now on the box art as well, it's quite a zenithal sort of highlight, so I'd like to come from a certain point and we need to sort of follow that, how I done it with the skin. So for mine it's coming sort of there, so you need the light sort of here and here and a little bit sort of here. So again, just gradually building it up. And if you find that you sort of lose your transitions a bit, sort of here it's quite a jump, you can take your original colour, always keep a bit of a base coat and glaze over the gap, and that will help soften them transitions. So yeah, I'm going to continue on. I'll probably add a little bit more white to the mix, add a further highlight, and then possibly even do a little sort of edge highlight on the little details as well. So I'll do that, and then I'll be back. I'm just trying not to make this video too long because I want to sort of finish my miniature all in one video. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the black areas. So this is a top hat, and also the sort of sleeve things here. I'm going to give them all another coat of a band black. Just to get a nice smooth surface on which to work on. Okay, so I chucked some black on the palette, and I'm going to add some white into the mix to get a nice grey. So it's fairly dark grey. And then I just want to add a touch of blue just into the mix. That slight bluey ness to it, and add a little bit more. So it's quite thin. I'm going to paint it all over the top. It's probably a bit too much on the brush there. So I'll need a couple of coats of this. And then So I might fit it down just even more and sort of dragging it up. So the idea is that you sort of have a black to grey gradient going up, but mainly sort of towards the top. So the lower half will just be pure black. I don't want to put up too much around the little rivets. It's very thin, so I'm going to build up a few layers. Sort of glazing it on there. And also just sort of around the top. The rim as well. And for other areas, just wherever you think the light will hit, just sort of glaze it on and build it up. Okay, so there's a very, very subtle highlight, so I'm going to add a bit more white and a bit more blue to the mix. Very tiny amount of blue, I think. And then I'm going to go up just one more step further, I think. Don't want this highlight to be too bright, so I'm going to really thin it out. Lots of water as well. And I'll glaze more towards the front of the hat. And again, just on top, but this time just only half of where I was before. A bit at the front. And then once that's dry, I'll go over it again with another one. I'll do the same on the arms here as well. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit more white to mix and then maybe just do a little edge highlight. So it's looking more like sort of administratum grey now with a slight blueness to it. Just very slightly. And I'm not adding any more blue to this highlight. So it's still fairly thin, not a glaze consistency now, it's slightly thicker. And just run a very faint edge highlight just around the top of the hat and along the rim as well. I'll probably take a couple of coats to build it up. It's still relatively thin, just not quite that glaze consistency though. And then on the sleeves, when it comes to the creases, I'll just run it along the creases as a final little highlight. And I might edge highlight these bands on the arms as well. Go along there like so. So I don't know how easy it is to see on the camera, but after a couple of coats that'll be noticeable, and then the black areas there will be done. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that now. Nice little subtle highlights on the black. So now I'm going to go into the red. So some of this red should still be wet on the palette. I've recorded the black onwards a few days after the original start of the video, the corset. So some of the paint's still wet. Gonna get a little bit of black in the mix. Just a little bit though. I want to start quite dark with this, but not too dark, like a sort of burgundy. Yeah, just a little bit more. Lovely. So you'll notice throughout this video I've been starting dark and moving up towards the lighter highlights. Just seems easier to do when you don't use shade washes and stuff, I find. I know some people like to start at the mid-tone and work up and down. And that's fine too. Yes, it's a lovely sort of burgundy colour. There's not a lot of red on the actual sort of bust, but on the arms you got this whole sort of frilly piece here, so I'll apply that on there. And so yeah, it's a really nice sort of maroon colour. So I'm going to apply that all over the red areas, and then I'll be back to add some highlights. Okay, so the Evil Sun skirt is going into the original mix. So it's about 50-50 for burgundy and now this red, and I'm pretty much going to layer on most of the red areas, just leaving the darkest colour in the recesses. As you can see, whilst the paint's still thin, it's a lot thicker than the glazes that we've been using previously. It will require a couple of coats just to get a nice smooth finish on there, on the arms. We painted over everything apart from them deep areas in between each sort of part of the sleeve. I don't know what they're called, but you know what I mean. Okay, so I've added that layer of the mix, and I've also just used some pure red on its own there, with a thin layer on top. So when it comes to highlights for red, you can't just chuck white in like you can with every other colour, because I'm sure most of you know that will turn pink. So what you need is some yellow. I don't know how wet some of that is, so I might have to open a pot, put a bit more in. So I'll make some yellow. So we're going to get like an orange, of course, but we'll mix in a fair amount of red. So now I'm just going to gradually build up this orange like so. Use it as like a highlight there. So now I'll be highlighting these sort of towards the centre, so sort of imagine where the piece is going to be once it's assembled, and then you can work out where you want the highlights to be. So I'm going to want them sort of around this area. Like so. As you can see, that's quite thin. As always, just building up the thin layers. And then once it's dry, I'll work back in the middle. And then I'll add a bit more yellow to the mix and add a further highlight, and then the red areas will be done. I may even just do little edge highlighting in some places as well. But yeah, I'm not going to show too much of the process going forward now, just the video's probably running quite long. Okay, so I'm quite happy with how the red's looking now. See, it's got the sort of highlights up there going up to a lighter orange there, and also on the arms. So I haven't gone super bright with the highlights here. I didn't want it to, there's always a risk that it might end up looking shiny if you go too bright. So I sort of kept it like that. I'm fairly happy with that. I may smooth them out. I'll smooth out the highlights a little bit going forward, but for now, they're okay. I want to move on. I'm going to take a little bit of a blue and add it to that orange mix. I hope that's not too much, just take a little bit off. Add that all in. Just going to give us this sort of browny colour, sort of orangey brown, and this is going to be the base coat for her necklace, and also some yellow areas on her hat, and also on her arm there's these little sort of fastenings, whatever you'd call them. And again, this will be our darkest colour, and I'll highlight up from there. And it will take 2 or 3 coats to go over the black with this colour as well. Okay, so I've added some yellow into the mix now for our highlights. And I'm going to add it like so. So just for time, I will add it to all these little details on the hat as well, but I'll just show you these little areas on the video first. So just mainly hitting the high points with this colour. Again, it's thinned out, but not so much that it's a glaze consistency. On the little bits on the arm, I will just paint over the whole of that area with this colour, which I'll try and do on camera. This isn't the best brush for it, but so yeah, just very carefully paint them like so. So I'll go around and do that, and then I'll add a bit more yellow for an extra highlight and add in all these little details as well, just straight with the yellow, so it'll take a few coats to get there. Also going to paint these little buckles on the top with yellow as well, and then add a little highlight with just some more yellow there as well. Okay, so yeah, oh, glasses out of the way. Got the yellow now done. You can see it's around the hat. Now I'm quite happy with that. Not a great deal in terms of highlighting on this yellow. I want it to be sort of fairly flat. There's a little bit, but I didn't want it to come across too shiny or anything like that. I see there's sort of additional highlighting on the necklace and on the hat. Sort of symbol there. Anyway, I'm going to do the feathers now. I'm going to do a nice bright green. I've got a little bit of blue on the palette. I'll add lots of yellow to that. Make a nice yellowy green. That is pretty much perfect. So I'm going to go a bit brighter than the box art. Quite a nice bright green. So I'll be adding more yellow when it comes to the highlights. And yeah, just going to go over all the feathers where it's really nice bright green. That's a really nice colour already, I really like that. Okay, so that's giving us a nice bright green. I was just looking at the box art. The feathers are actually different in design too on the box art. I find that interesting. But yeah, anyway, I've been using the art as a reference to places to put highlights on. I've got some highlights. I'm going to go Zenithal with this one as well. Let's get some yellow in the mix. Some nice yellow in there. So it's a very nice light green. I'll get some water in there. And then have it nice and thin, as always. And way too much on the brush, mind you. And then start glazing on highlights in the area. So the idea is to build up some lighter areas and then pick out some of the individual bits on the leaf. So we'll do some around there. So just some rough sketching out of where I want the highlights to be. Once it's dry, I'll go back over a bit more selective as always. So I'll just wait for that to dry, add a bit more, and then I'll be back to get some of the detail. So you can see that's dried nice and subtle and just giving us a nice little highlight. So I've added some more yellow into a mix, so we're almost at yellow. Oh, and just going to follow a lot of these lines, probably not all of them, just mainly the big ones. So paint's very thin, so it flows nice and easily. And yeah, I'm just going to keep following them lines, and I'll probably do 2 coats of this so you get a nice solid look. And I'll also do this piece and the middle as well. Like so, I'm going to do that on all the feathers. Okay, so here's how she's looking now. I did say when I was doing the hair I'd paint the butt of the gun in a similar fashion, which I have done. Hopefully you guys can see some of the browns on the palette there. Let's just move that. There's a lot of light coming off it at the moment, I don't know why. There we go. So you can see I've got lots of brown sort of over here. Palette's looking a bit messy now, but we do not have that far left to go. Just some silver and some, let's say gold, maybe a bronze. A goldy bronzy colour on the gun. And that's all that's left. A bit of non-metallic metal, just a bit. I'm not very good at non-metallic metal, so this is new territory for me. I'll show off the feather a bit more. That's what it's looking like after some highlights. So quite happy with that. Could maybe have gone a bit darker in the recesses, but I did want it to be quite bright. So yeah, the gun. We'll start with the grey and silver. It's quite bluey on the box, so I'm going to copy that. I did put some white on the palette. We'll get a little bit of black. So really in the sharp. Start here, just a grey, and then I'll take some blue. Just a little bit of blue, might be too much. I need a little bit more black. As always, starting from a darker tone, working up. So on the gun, it's literally just the end of a gun and the barrel there. I'll probably get a better brush for hiding under the palette there. I think I might nudge the camera over a bit. I feel like I'm sitting too far on the left of my desk. But anyway, you can see what colour I'm getting there. So I'm going to do a couple of coats of that, and I'll be back to add some highlights, and I think I'll even add some shadows on this one as well. So we'll start on a bit more similar to a mid-tone. Okay, so got the base coat down. Add a little bit more blue into the mix for the second coat. So on the palette here, I've got black and blue mix, and no white at all. This will give us a nice sort of bluey grey. So this will be our shadow colour. I'll thin it out a little bit, and sort of work up from the bottom. Just dragging that down. I might add a bit more black to it actually. See it going on there, it's not that dark really. Which is surprising. It's literally just black and blue. Way too much blue, clearly. More black in there. I apologise, my wet palette's looking quite a mess now, but some of these colours have dried. You can still see where this one's sort of dried out, but probably will have to avoid some of that yellow. That's better. So that's the shadow colour there. Shadow on the inside of the gun. And the bottom, and what I'm going to do is thin it right out and just apply it almost like a wash along the bottom bit here. Like so. I'm going to take some of that thin shade and just sort of feather out the edge. I think I've gone a bit too much of there, so what I'll do is I'll come back in with the original colour and sort of blend that down. There we go. Doesn't take too much to fix when your paints are still wet. Cool. And then if I take a little bit more black, just thin down, just go right at the bottom, with a deeper highlight there. Cool, so I'll just give that a couple of minutes to dry, and then I'll add some highlights in. Okay, so I've added some white into the shadow colour, quite a lot of white because we're jumping up beyond the mid-tone now. And I thinned it down a fair amount. Place. Oh, so I apologise, like I say, I think the camera's nudged over a bit, so my natural position is way off. And then I'm going to run along the top. So, as I said, I'm no good at the non-metallic metal thing, so I'm just going to paint it as I would paint a sort of bluey grey. But hopefully, there's not too much of it, so hopefully it gives some sort of illusion. Just get that in on the top there. Let's see if we get that highlight running across the top. Somewhere around there. And then on the other side. And some edge highlight around the end of the barrel. And just do the same along the other side. And then I'm going to take some white, pop it on the palette, take a little bit of this colour and mix it in so we've got a very light bluey grey now. And thin it right down. And that can be a more extreme highlight. Now it won't dry this light. And we're going to run it across the top. Oh, that's way too much there. Suck some of that up with a spare brush. Just want to run just a little amount across the top. And then just a little bit. Too much on the brush. Along there. So I'll just give that a bit longer to dry and I'll neaten up across the top there. I don't think that was all the way to dry. Then I want to add a little bit more white for a final highlight. And then we'll move on to the final area, which is these little bronzy gold areas. I'm also going to do the butt of the gun as well. Okay, so it's not the greatest, but it'll do. I've jumped back into this gold mix up here for these areas. So we'll get a couple of thin coats of this. I added a tiny bit more red to it. I'm going to go for this sort of reddy gold look. It looks quite nice. Even not now with like part of the first coat on, I'm quite liking the colour choice. So I'll get a couple of thin coats of that down and we'll do similar sort of highlights with this, and then she will be ready to go. Okay, so it's quite a nice orangey colour now. So I added some yellow to the mix. And I'll thin it out. And yeah, we want the highlight to roughly be sort of there, so just build that up. So there again, just sort of glazing it. Work around the top there. So it'll be end of the gun there. So bring it down just a little bit. As we're going to go brighter as well. So paint most of the tops with this. Again, it's going to be a few coats, and I'll gradually get a good coverage on the end there actually. Just redo that bit. I'll gradually build it up. You can see now as it's drying it's quite subtle, and I can add additional coats going higher up to get a nice transition going up to a lighter colour. So I'll do that and then come back for the final highlight and then just paint some green on these bits and she'll be done. Get her glued together. Okay guys, so we're almost there. That glass out of the way. Almost there. Gonna add some more yellow to the mix. Start on our final highlights now. I feel like I've been painting this for ages. Been filming this over a course of about a week, which you'll probably notice from the various changes in the camera and light. Back to this brush. You can see I've been gradually building up now. It's quite a good smooth little transition on there. I'm quite happy really. Hopefully I can do the same with this yellow, which is going to start at the top. A bit less on the brush. Have it across there. So we're going to gradually build that up. Way too much on the brush to start with though. Run it along the top of that bit. So yeah, it's just going to be a case of building it up to a nice sort of yellowish colour at the top. And then I'm just going to use the same green I've used on the feathers, just to paint these little things there. Clean up any other little spots. You can see there's a couple of little spots there I've missed. Clean them up with just some black. And it should be done. So yeah. Just show you a bit more of this yellow. So yeah, it'll be several coats. Just building building it up. Alright then, so back in a minute. Okay, so here is the finished miniature. So she was a barrel of laughs to put together. You'll notice one of the little green things on the gun is vanished. That broke off whilst I was trying to put the gun on. That's quite fragile. You can see the hand just doesn't quite reach very well there. Also, I made a complete faux pas. I didn't varnish this miniature before handling it, and odd little bits of paint did come off, which I had to fix. You'll notice the red looks slightly different now. I just had to repaint little bits, so I sort of went over a lot of it. But I actually quite like how it looks now. So that was a bit disappointing. You'd think the miniature being only 3 pieces would fit together a lot easier. That hand is going to annoy me slightly. It just needs to be over just ever so more, but I would probably end up breaking her if I was to force it. Apart from that though, the miniature's lovely. I've had a blast painting her. I'm so happy with how the corset's turned out. And the skin especially. But yeah, I think when I paint some more of these busts, I'll dry fit them first, varnish them before I put them together, and just paint them regularly. But it's been fun to mix in the colours, get the nice shades, and I think the end result has definitely benefited from that. And yeah, that's all what's left to really say about her. I'm glad she's finished. She's going to look nice as a little display piece on the shelf. I hope you've enjoyed these 2 videos painting her. This one's probably run very long, I have no idea, but we will certainly find out when I come to edit this in post-production. But yeah, if you have enjoyed it, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you've painted any miniatures using 3 colours, do let me know down below and let me know how you got on. And if these videos have been useful to you, then certainly let me know as well. That makes it all worthwhile, just knowing that even if these videos just help one person, it does make it all the more worthwhile making them. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and all that jazz. I'll see you again in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, then please feel free to subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. You can also click that bell icon to be notified when a new video has gone live on this channel. On the screen now are 2 more videos that you may wish to check out, and a link to our Patreon page also. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon.